Start with that practical. First, let me draw the diagram now neatly, and then we'll do the steps practically one by one. So, what is the first thing when it comes to VPC network? We need to create our own VPC, that means our network. Then only we will have complete control on whatever the things we are creating, like security group, IP addresses range, all these things. So so when you create a VPC, you need to give a site range. So let's go my site range 10.0.0. And we already discussed there is no logic simply just launching and dumping all the IPs here. 2 power I think 16 2 power 16 missions here. So there should be some use case like why we are doing all these things. So that's why we'll after launching a VPC, inside the VPC we will divide in something called subnets. And I already said subnet can be combination of public, private, public and private. But usually in companies it's a combination of public and private. Why? Because logically speaking there is no use simply launching only public and public, only private and private. And what did I said? By default, whenever you launch a subnet,
Private.
private. By default, private. So now we have to make it one as public. Private. So the moment you create subnet means, that means first thing you need to make sure you assign a site range, which is the subset of your main VPC range. Always this number should be less than the main this number. These numbers, whatever the site range you're assigning here in the subnet level, should be always less than this one. Of course, then only you can create. While doing practicals, you will only understand. You can't create it even if you want to create more than that. Technically speaking. Second one is 10.0.20.24. Now, actually, I have just written the name private to public. But is it technically public? What are the two things you need to do to make it a public subnet? If I have to make a private subnet to public, what are the things you need to do?
Enable public subnet.
Right. One is enable public subnet. Another one?
Internet rate.
Right. So we need to supply it with internet. That is the reason why it is public. Can you connect internet gateway directly to subnet?
Mati will be there.
Route table will be there and some route table will come. And this route table is custom. Why I have written here custom? You will understand later. When we are doing practice, then you will understand. Fine. So now, technically now we have made this subnet as public subnet. So let's give some name. So let's say something my VPC. The name of your VPCs. And I have launched it in Mumbai region. VPC specific to region. Okay. Now, so in public subnet, what are the type of instances we launch?
Web server.
Web server. So this is my web server. So the moment you launch anything, automatically public IP, private IP will be assigned. And talking about the security group, web server means obviously port 80 should be open to the world. And who is having permission to go inside?
Admin.
Only admin. Only admin having permission to go inside. Next. What is the type of instance we launch in private subnet?
database.
Database. What is the, let's say, MySQL database we are launching? What is the port of MySQL?
3306.
3306. Okay. This port you need to open to whom? 3306 port
Web service.
for all the web servers. That means complete
Subnet 1.
public subnet cider range. This range complete cider range. Then only all the missions in the public subnet will be having access to go inside. And by default, whenever you launch any instance in a private subnet, it will have only private IP. So first, let me create till here, and then we'll come back to the diagram. Let me log into the console. Somehow we already discussed the diagram in the last class only, so it's okay. I just drawn half of the diagram. First, we'll do practical still there. If you have time, that means if you understood immediately, we'll continue with the diagram. Go to VPC. So these are all different components of VPC. VPC, subnet, route table, internet gateway, NAT gateway, some other things like distribution access, DHCP. Have we discussed what is DHCP?
Limit of configuration. Sends the IP address.
Right. First of all, abbreviation is Dynamic Host Control Protocol, and it is responsible for assigning IPs, random IPs, whenever an instance is launched. Okay, so let's go to VPC. So already there is some VPC. Have we created this? Have you ever tried going inside your account which you are practicing every day? Have you seen VPC after yesterday's class? Not yesterday, I mean after the last class. Whenever you create any AWS account, by default in every region there is a default VPC. In fact, all these days from day 1 to till day, whatever we are practicing every day, everything we have done in this default VPC. That's why if you observe carefully, your IP number starts always with 170 to 31 series only all these days, whatever, no matter whatever machine you are launching, because all are in default VPC, and the VPC cider range is 170 to 31. But now we don't want to use the default VPC. Why? Because this is controlled by AWS. If you have to have your own network, you want to have complete control on whatever the resources you are about to launch, whatever the resources you are about to create, you have to have complete control. Like I said, something like bank is a public place. Again, inside blank, that lockers is your private place. Similarly, here also, by creating a new VPC, you are creating your own locker. You can secure your things in your own VPC. So let's see how to create our own VPC. So first go with create VPC. Later, after 2 classes, we will discuss what are the characteristics of a default VPC. First, let's understand a VPC and what are the characteristics of it. Then we will compare the difference between a custom VPC, that means which we are about to create, that is a custom VPC, and this is a default VPC. Let's create VPC. And okay, what is the name? Instead of giving mine VPC. What is the cider range of our VPC?
10.0.
/60. So do you want to use IPv6 series? You can go over it. Use Amazon, or if you have any IPv6 owned by you, you can use it. But if you don't have anything, usually IPv4 is enough. So let's say no IPv6. Next, tenancy. So anyone, just by seeing the words can understand dedicated and default. In one of the class in the beginning, I explained you one thing. When I was explaining the data center,
Elas-
dedicated means.
Elastic IPs.
No,
Pricing option.
yes, something related to pricing options. Then I said, so dedicated means they are reserving you the complete hardware. So what did we discuss? How our EC2 instances launched? They will have one big hardware. On top of that, there will be that Zen virtualization software. On top of that, they will be launching many EC2s like this. And whenever you are launching any EC2, so what will happen? Maybe you are getting this EC2. When I am launching from my account, maybe I am getting this EC2. Maybe some other person, when he launched, he was getting this one. So indirectly in the backend, we don't know that we are all sharing the same physical hardware. It looks like we are having our individual instances, but our individual instances are sharing the same physical hardware. And what did we discuss? There are different types of pricing options. Then we discussed reserved, spot, on demand, dedicated. So here dedicated means if you choose dedicated, the complete hardware is reserved for you. Even though you're launching only 2 machines or 3 machines, you have to pay for complete 50 machines. Why? Because AWS is reserving this hardware for you. Obviously, they have to get money of the 50 EC2s. And where did we use this type of dedicated hardware? I said in some sensitive projects like military, these options. So, but in company, definitely we don't be needing dedicated things. Let's go with default. So let's go with default. Okay, that's it. Create VPC. Yeah. Now this is the one thing which you need to remember for sure. Whenever you create a VPC, listen carefully. Whenever you create any this custom VPC, what are the three things that gets created by default? Just remember these three. Later you will understand while doing practice. This one you know, I already said DHCP, and we don't do anything automatically. It will do its work. It will just get created and it will do its work. We don't need to do anything of this. Route table, yes. While doing practical, then you will understand. After seeing the diagram. NACL still we did not discuss. In the coming classes we will discuss. Then you will understand. But for now, just remember whenever you create any VPC, the three things which get created by default is these three: DHCP, route table, and NACL. Main route table, main NACL. You can remember. Okay, we have created our VPC with our required side array. What is the next thing we need to create? Subnets. Let's click on the subnets. See, already there are some subnets here. This belongs to which one? These subnets?
Default.
By seeing this or by seeing this also you can say the answer. This all belongs to default VPC, and that's why you see all the cider ranges are subset of your main. What is our cider range of our default VPC? Something 170 to 31 00 and slash this is 20, right? So I think maybe it's 16. Yeah, see 31 00 16. So obviously 24 means less than that on everything. 20 means less on it. But we have to create our own subnet now. So let's start with create subnet. Where you want to create a subnet, in which VPC? Default VPC or your custom VPC? Our VPC, custom VPC, my VPC. And give some name. So always you can give any randomness. There is no proper naming convention for giving a name to the subnet. So usually once you join in the companies, they will have some rules and regulations. Whenever you are creating EC2, please make sure the naming should be something like this: first project name, next environment, whether production or development, next any sub-project name, and then number of the mission, 1, 2, 3, like that. Then it's okay. They will only say your manager or your cloud engineer will say you, senior guy, like this is the naming convention we follow in the project. But other than that, if they don't have any specific naming convention, you can have your own, which is easy to remember. So usually I prefer, first I will go with the cider range, and then I will say whether it is public or private I am about to launch. So I am sure that 10.0.1 series is my public or private subnet. 10.0.10.
Private.
In the diagram we started with one, right? Yeah, of course, by default it is private, but ultimately you are about to make it public, right? So now only I am giving it as public. After launching I will make it public. So and I am about to launch in availability zones. So let's say 1A. So I am about to launch in 1. So for now, just remember guys, for now remember one availability zone is equal to one subnet. Okay. Later I will discuss you the properties, because if you observe carefully, actually we did not discuss the theory of VPC. Usually any service first we are discussing theory and then we are discussing practical. But here if I discuss theory, you won't be understanding properly. That's why what I'm doing, first we are doing practicals. Later I will discuss theory, then you will understand the concept. For now remember, subnet means availability zone. Something like now I have launched a VPC in a Mumbai region. And what did we discuss again in VPC? I have one data center is in Chennai. Another data center I can have in Delhi. So my public subnet I am launching in Chennai data center, and my private subnet I want to launch in Delhi data center, something like that. So that's why 1A, that means 1A availability zone. So that's why if you observe, just by seeing my naming convention only I can say what is the subnet. Okay, my CIDR range of the subnet is 10.0.0.24, and I am using this subnet for which purpose? As a public subnet, and I have launched this in which availability zone? 1A. So you see, you get all the details of your subnet just by seeing the name. So make sure you follow this naming convention if your company don't have anything. Usually every company has one notation, so then you can follow that one. Fine. So what is the CIDR range we thought of giving? Same 10.0, 10, 20. Next we need to add one more subnet. So what is the naming convention? 10, 0, 2, 0, 24. Next is public or private? 0, 2 series.
Private.
Private. And let's launch if you want. You can launch in 1A, guys. I'm not saying you can't launch in 1A. You can launch in 1A, 1B again. Actually, so what do you think is our architecture, whatever I launched, is it having multi availability zone, high availability, whatever I launched now? So listen carefully, this is a public subnet, this is a private subnet. So this is something 10.0.10 series, this is 10.0.20 series. Actually I am having only one public subnet, one private subnet, but in real time companies what will happen? You will have two public subnets and two private subnets. So this is high availability. See, one availability zone is in Chennai, another availability zone is in Delhi. One availability is in Delhi, another is in Chennai. Actually, this way we launch subnets in the real-time company. Why we are launching like this? Simple logic. Even though if you lose one data center, one availability zone is 1A, but even though your public subnet web servers are accessible from Delhi data center. Similarly here also, even though if you lose one database servers completely in 1B availability zone, still your website will be able to pull the data from this databases in 1A availability zone. But in this example, we are not launching 4 subnets. Actually, we are launching only 2, one public and one private. In project, when in the end of the we will discuss on big live project. In that live project, we will go with the real-time scenarios. How we do in real-time scenarios, that we will discuss in a project. That's why I said subnet means, remember, on subnet means availability zone. So I have asked you or not this answer or question already. In interviews, they will be asking you, how did you make sure you achieved high availability in your previous company? How did you design your architecture such a way you have achieved high availability? What should you say answer?
Create so many different zones.
Right. So that the technical word we call it as by implementing. You should say answer this word. So being a cloud engineer, I have implemented multi-AZ architecture in my infrastructure such a way I made sure that my infrastructure is always highly available. Highly available means 24/7, 365 days, no downtime. So whatever the resources you are launching, you have launched into availability zones always. So that even if one availability zone is down, it doesn't affect your product. That means customers does not face any issue of your product. So moving further, I am going to ask this question very repetitively because this is the most asked commonly interview question, and now you know the answer. All these days I did not say you this word. Why? Because you don't know what is availability zone, what is VPC. But from today onwards, you need to have a proper knowledge between what is AZ, what is a multi-AZ, what you are achieving with the help of multi-AZ. And it's okay. We wanted to launch in 1B. I'm not saying that's what I said. If you want, you can launch in 1A also. Don't think if you launch already one subnet in 1A, you can't launch another. You can launch any number, no issues. But it should be logically correct. 10, 0, 2, 0, 24. Fine. I think that's it. Create subset. Creating subnets. Two subnets have been created. If you want, you can remove this filter. So you see now it's a mix. So just by seeing, how can you identify which are the subnets belong to you? Let's assume I did not give any name here. Let's assume I did not give any name here. So how can you say which is your subnet?
CIDR.
CIDR.
CID.
Either by seeing this one you can say, or either by seeing this one also. You see, actually I did not expand this one. If you expand, you can see the VPC. My VPC. Like this. Fine. So successfully we have created both subnets. And what did we discuss by default? What is the nature of subnets? Both are private.
Private.
Actually here the only the naming I have given public guest, but still this is also private. So what you need to do if you want to make it public?
Enable public.
Enable. Right. So actions. Modify auto assign IP settings. You see, this enable it currently this is in disable state. So first we need to enable this. Fine. One step is finished. What is the second thing?
AGW.
Right. Internet gateway. So let's go to internet gateway. Everything will be in the left side only, guys. All options will be in the left side only here. IGW. See, already there is some internet gateway. This belongs to which one?
Default.
Right.
Default.
You can see here. This belongs to default VPC. It's okay. We don't want to use that. Always remember, for one VPC you can attach only one internet gateway. Again, this is also theory. Even though if you don't understand this theory, leave it. Moving further, we are going to have one dedicated class completely for theory of VPC. Then you will understand. For now, just focus on the practicals blindly. The concept I will explain later. The theory concept. So let's create internet gateway. Give any name. There is no specification rules for name. You can say something like my IGW, my internet gateway. That's it. Create internet gateway. Internet gateway is not at all a server, guys. It's just like a component. It's just like a box. Okay? Something like your Wi-Fi router. It's just a Wi-Fi router. You can say. So usually this is the place where all the students do mistake. They think they have created VPC. So sorry, not VPC. They have created the internet gateway. Actually, yes, you have created your internet gateway. But after creating, what you need to do? See the diagram? Right. You need to. Where did I draw the? Actually, I can place internet gateway here also, and I can keep arrow like this. But observe where carefully. Where did I draw internet gateway on the? What is this box? This black box is VPC. That means I am attaching my, after creating internet gateway, I am attaching it to VPC. And what is the current state? You have just created it, but is it attached to VPC?
Detach.
It is currently in detached state. So always remember to actions attached to VPC. So what is your actually what did I say just before? For any for one VPC you can attach only one internet gateway. That is proved here, guys. You see, when I click on this drop down, why it is showing me only one VPC? Our customer it is why it is not showing the default VPC?
That is already attached
Right.
to default.
So, right. That internet gateway is already attached to the default VPC, so it's not showing. We know the concept that one internet gateway can be attached to one VPC. If any internet gateway is already attached to one VPC, it won't be shown in the available VPC. Why? Because it is not available. It is already attached to some other VPC, some other internet gateway. So now we select only one of my VPC. Fine. Okay, good. So on what did we discuss? Can we attach internet gateway directly to subnet?
RT.
Something is in a route table is there. Have we created route table till now?
No.
Main route tables.
It's by default create.
Right, good. So what did I say? Just remember carefully, whenever we create VPC, what are the three things got created?
DHCP. RT.
Route table and something.
NSE.
Okay, leave it this one, forget about this one. We'll discuss tomorrow next. And this also we don't do anything. And what is the route table? It has written something. Main route table. Okay. So first, what we'll do? Let's go to route table and check what is this main. What is? Okay. So first of all, which is your route table which got created along with VPC? How can you say? By seeing the
Name.
here both are not having name. By seeing the VPC ID. And this route table belongs to whose?
Default.
Default VPC. Right. And you see under main something is there written called yes. So always listen carefully. Whenever you see yes under main, that means blindly you can believe that this route table has been created along with the, whenever you have created along with the VPC that got created. But anyone remember, guys, actually the full diagram, how many route tables are there in our complete diagram?
Two.
What is the second one? Route table actually we use for which purpose?
To connect.
Running internet.
Right. So always remember, whatever the resources you are using for private subnet, those are main. Whereas whatever the resources you are using for public, those are custom. Okay. So that's why I'm not making use of this. Actually, we are using the main route table for which purpose? For connecting which subnet, public or private? Just now showing
Private.
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 So just name it as private route table so that you won't get confused. Okay. Fine. That means main route table always we use for only for private things, but custom we use for public. So are we having this custom route table? Is there any another route table which belongs to our VPC?
No, sir.
So for what we need to do, we need to create a route table. So what is the another? Obviously, what will be the name? One we have named it as
Public.
private route table. So let's name the other one as public route table. Again, it's not a rule. I am giving naming convention so that whenever you see route table, you can immediately understand. Okay, this route table I am using for connecting public subnet. If I name it as public route table, immediately it will strike your mind. Okay, so we want to attach it to VPC. Create. So you see, what is the difference you observed between public and private route table?
Send.
Hmm? What is the difference?
Main.
Main SM.
What did I say? Whenever you see S means that got created along with the VPC. If it no means which we have created manually. And always the manually created, that means which is not a main route table, that we will use for to connecting public subnet. Fine. So currently in the diagram we have created internet gateway, we have created route table, but next thing we need to do is we need to attach them. One end of the route table should be attached to the source of internet, another end of the route table should be attached to the destination of internet. Fine. So select the public route table first. So one end is internet gateway. So go to routes. This one you see. All the options will be here only. It is very easy. Don't get confused. Both options. One end is internet. So this route. Edit routes. This option is there. Edit routes. Don't worry about this. This gets created automatically. Whenever you route table is there, automatically this is created. What is the meaning of this 10.0.0.16 local means?
This is a whole VPC.
Right. So what do you say? 10.0.0.16 means complete VPC. So local means this whole box is local. Whatever the you have placed inside, this is all local. So that is what they mean to say. That means your subnet is a subset of this VPC. That is what they are trying to say that with the meaning of it. It's okay. We don't disturb that one. What is we need to add source, right? So add root. So what you need to add source of internet is which one? Here for your public subnet, source of internet is internet gateway. And what you need to write in destination? Okay.
Subnet IP. Subnet IP.
No. Actually, it's not. You will get confused. So listen carefully. What is the purpose we are creating internet gateway? To provide internet to the subnet. So what is the language of internet? What is the how we? What is the language? What is the IP number we use to define internet? Internet means so think logical. Internet means available everywhere. Internet is a public thing. Everyone in the world can be accessed. So what is the notation of IP? I said everyone in the world.
000.
Right.
00.
000. So actually don't get confused. The meaning of 00 is different as per the use case scenario. Okay. When you are using 000 in security group, what is the meaning of it?
Open to world.
Open the world. Everyone on this earth can access. But if I am giving 00 in the route table, what is the meaning of it? Means I am providing internet. Okay. Moving further, in one place we will get one more 00. That is the value. I mean the meaning is different. So the meaning of 00 is different when it comes to different scenarios. But of course, ultimately, it's about related to internet only. When you say 00 in security group, it means it's open to world. Whereas if you define 00 in a route table, it means internet. So now save routes. So usually this is the place where usually students make mistake. So actually they will write public IP or private IP, and they will get errors while doing. Next, what is the other end we need to attach? The route table, subnet associations, and edit subnet. So to which subnet we want to attach our route table? Public subnet. So click select public and save. You see, I don't know how many of you observed earlier. This whole column is here also blank is there. But what happened just now? The moment I attach public subnet to this route table under subnet associations, public subnet is been showing to this public route table. If you want, you can check. I will move this. This is a subnet ID. It belongs to the public subnet. So now, technically, you have connected these two. Just now, what we did just this one is connected. Just now we connected. So successfully, this has been connected. Now this box is technically a public subnet. Okay. Now this box you can say confidently this is public subnet. Whatever the things you are about to launch inside this mission, all will be having the access to internet. Why? Because you have connected them to internet gateway. And here I wanted to show you one thing. Okay, go to where is this? Go to subnets. So how many IPs you can launch, guys, in each subnet? How many IPs you can launch in public and public subnet, and how many like in launch in private? 24 means how many? 2 power
2 power 8, 256.
256. 2 power 8 is 256. 2 power 8 256. So in public subnet you can launch 256 machines. In private subnet also you can launch 256 machines. But what they are saying here in this column, you can launch only 251. So what do you think, guys? Is 2 power 8 is 251 or 256?
256.
So who is wrong? Maybe we are wrong, or maybe AWS is wrong. AWS don't know mathematics, maybe.
Uh, Maybe they will use other API for some other configurations.
Right. So here we are discussing about our discussion is about why there is a difference of 5 IPs. Mathematically speaking, 2 power 8 means 256 IPs. So technically we should expect 256 here, but 256 minus 251 is how many IPs difference is coming? 5 IPs. Similarly, count this also. 2 power 12. 2 power 12 is how much? 4096. But how many are there here? 4091. What is the difference again? 96 minus 5 IPs. So no matter what type of cider lane you are always launching, the difference will be always 5 IPs. So here we have to discuss some logic, some concept, not logic, the concept behind why the difference of 5 IPs is coming, because this is also most of the very asked interview question in interviews. Usually freshers people, even if you're fresher, if you don't answer the question, it's okay. But who are planning to apply, in experienced candidate, definitely they expect answer from you. From this. So go to AWS and Google and search. You see, I just searched in the Google AWS resort IPs. I did not search anything about VPC. But what is the first answer came in the search? VPCs and subnets. So open this one, like select this VPCs and subnets. So in this you will be able to see this one. Just one moment, guys. Yeah. So if you search in this reserved IPs, they will be mentioning you here. So go down. Yes, here. Let's get. What is it? The first 4 IP address and the last IP address in each subnet cider block are not available to use and cannot be used to an instance. For example, so if your subnet cider range is 24, following 5 IP addresses are reserved. So obviously anywhere. First 4 and last 5 is 00, 01, 02, 02. First 4 and last one is 0, 255. So why they have reserved? Who is reserving this? Automatically AWS only reserving. So what is the reason they're reserving? They have clearly mentioned here 00 is reserved for something called network address, 01 is reserved for the router of VPC, 02 is reserved for DNS server, 03 is reserved for the future use. Maybe AWS want to use for something like I already said toll plaza. We have one row empty, right? Why? Because in case any emergency comes, immediately they have to wait for ambulance or VIPs. The politicians will be going. Similarly, here also they keep it reserved for something in future. Maybe they don't know some use might come. And the last IP is AWS does not support broadcast. Therefore, we say that means network broadcast address. This last IP. Of course, no one will ask in interview what is 00 reserved, what is 01 reserved. They will just ask why. Okay, if I am having 2 power 24, that's not 2 power 24. So how many you should have technically? 2 power 8, 256. So they will ask you simply, okay, how many IPs how many IPs I can launch in my subnet? They will ask. So you will answer 251, and then they will ask why not 256, why 251. Then you should say the first 4 IP and the last IP in every side range is reserved. That's it. No one will ask you what is 000102. If you remember, it's okay, well and good. If you don't remember also, no problem. So that is the logic behind. So you are not wrong, AWS is not wrong actually. There is some technical logic behind. So yeah, we have created subnet, we have connected internet gateway on this one. So first let's focus on public subnet, okay? So successfully we have created the public subnet and this completely. So let's launch web server in it. So go to EC2 console and let me launch in public. So all these days we are launching simply straight away 1 to 7 steps. Now can anyone let me know where I will find the option for me, such a way I can define that where I want to launch, in which subnet I want to launch, in which step. First I'm doing step.
Third step.
Simple. Whenever you get doubt, there are so many options.
Configure instances. I think.
Only one step there are so many options in all these 7 steps. In only step 3. So all these days where we are launching, whenever we are launching any instance, we are launching in
Default.
default VPC. But today, the first time we are about to use the VPC, I already said in the beginning of the class. So initially when we starting class, I said you don't remember this thing. Why? Because these all belongs to different services. Later when explaining the service, then I will explain. So today is the time where we are about to discuss this service. So again, in this VPC, in which subnet you want to launch, public or private?
Public.
Public. That's it. And now it's okay. Leave other things. Later we'll discuss. And how can you make a web server? I don't want to go manual and fire commands. This user data. So you have the script with you. So you can copy that script as it is, and you can paste in the user data. The rest all same. You know everything. VPC web server. Security group. You see, whatever you have to create new security group. You can't use the old one here actually. Why? Because that belongs to default VPC, but this security belongs to your VPC. That's why I'm saying my VPC web server security. And what are the things we thought? What is the security groups? Ports we need to attach for a web server. HTTP should be
HTTP, SSL.
SSH is only for my server. So you see, currently SSH is open for my or for everyone?
For all.
For all. So I need to change this to only my IP. Have you discussed this concept or not? What is my IP? Is it a public or a private IP? My IP. 551, 5151, 5150. What is the answer now? Is this my public IP or private IP?
Public.
Yes. Public, the name itself is saying, right? Whenever you are able to see whatever the IP you're seeing in the Google, when you search what is IP, if the same IP is present here, so blindly you can say this is a public IP. I already told you when drawing the diagram which type of security group, which type of IP we need to use where. When the traffic is coming from
Internet.
outside of the VPC, you need to use public IP in the security group. Whereas when the traffic is between inside the VPC, then we need to use in the security group private IPs. Now I am admin only. Let's say I am sitting in Hyderabad, but I have launched my web server and VPC in Mumbai region. So how can I go from Hyderabad to Mumbai? That means I have to come from outside the VPC. So that means I need to use my public IP in the security group. And what is the one more port you need to open? Traffic port. This is for customers. Okay, open to 100. So here I am writing admin, and here I will write open to. This is just optional thing. Please be on mute. I hear background noise. This is just for your understanding. Why? Because tomorrow, if you after going inside company, you'll have 120 or 30 ports here. So which port is for which purpose you can't remember. So you simply write a description when you are opening any new port, so that you will easily identify whenever you are seeing it. Review on launch. Let's create a new key. So download key pair. That's it. And launch instances. So that's it. So let it launch. Meanwhile, what we will do? We will launch one more. What is the type of instance? In private subnet, we'll launch database. So launch instances. So now we know how to launch in public or private. Simple. Configure instances. We'll select my VPC, but now we are able to launch in private. It's okay. I will make it database server manually. I will go inside the server SSH being admin, and then I will fire the command. For now, I'm just launching in private subnet. It's a database server. So anyone remember what is the security group for a database server? What are the ports you need to open?
306.
Right, 3306 for home.
Public subnet.
Right. Public subnet side. What is another port actually, technically? Of course, we can't do it here, but have you remember the diagram?
22.
22. For whom? It's okay. It's okay. Let's see what will happen. Okay, I'm opening 22, and I'm opening for world. Okay, open to world. Anywhere. Subject, I'm opening to the world. Database server. Usually you should not do, but it's okay. I have opened it. Let's see what will happen. So create a new key pair. VPC database. Download key pair. So successfully we have launched like one instance in public subnet, another instance in private subnet. First, let's check whether our web server has been launched successfully or not. So copy the. So what did I say? Whenever you launch any instance in public subnet, automatically. Who is that? Pradeep. Please be on mute. Who is that? Pradeep Jha. Whenever we launch any instance in a public subnet, by default, DHCP server makes sure one public IP and one private IP is assigned. But what did we discuss? Whenever you launch any instance in private only, you will get only private IP. So moving further, so tomorrow once you started working in companies, Just by seeing the IP addresses only, you will be able to identify it belongs to whether public or private subnet, whether it's a only private. How you see? 1002 series is which one our, while we are creating side events, 1002 series is for private subnet and 1001 series is for
Public.
public subnet. So this is the logic. So let's check whether web server is correct, working fine or not. So copy this model. Fine. So it is working fine. Now what we need to do? Let me check the connection. Okay, I want to go from my local machine to now I am somewhere outside the VPC. Now I am here. So now being admin, what I want to do? I want to go inside my web server. We already checked this connection. Are we able to access website or not? Through port 80. Just now we seen it is available.
Yes.
But don't think it is available for me only. It is available for you also. If you want, I will paste in the chat box that IP. You can also check. Don't think I have given permission for myself. You can also check. It will. Why? Because you know the concept. We have a lot HTTP port for everyone, so everyone can see my website. But now I wanted to go inside. Only I can go inside. Why? Because in the security group for SSH, whose IP I kept? Only my public IP. Only my public IP I kept in the security group. So first let's convert PEM to PPK because mine is Windows machine. My web server is Linux. All files, VPC web server. Save. Now let's connect actions. Connect SSH client. Copy. Open putty. Paste. SSH authorization. Upload that PPK file which we converted just now. Yeah. So successfully we have entered into web server. Become a root user. So already in this we have run that script. So already it is a web server. How can you cross check whether everything has been created or not? In which directory you will check? What is your home page for a website? If you want to check. See? Actually, where did all this run? This index.html, all this service, how did it got installed? We have already defined in the while launching it
This.
in user data. We have mentioned in the user data. So I just wanted to show you, so we are able to connect and we are having internet or not. I just want, of course, this one because already we have updated in the, we have mentioned this command in the user script on user data. It's okay, fine. So what will we do now? I'm closing this. So successfully we are able to connect from outside the VPC. We are able to enter. Being the admin, I was able to enter into web server. And I think I have opened 22 also, right? I opened for this one, open to the world. So let's see. I want to whether I can go inside the database or not. Being the admin. So again, convert that PEM to PPK. Database convert into PPK. So copy EC2 user the rate of IP. Open PPK. Paste it. SSH authentication. Give the PPK of the database key. VPC DB. So what do you think, guys? Will it get connected or not? So my peak is open. Now what I am about to connect from my local machine, I am about to connect to my
DP.
database server. If it has to connect, it will connect immediately. You don't need to wait 1 minute or 2 minutes. Did we wait to connecting web server? Did we wait 1 minute or 2 minutes, or it got connected immediately?
Immediately.
Immediately. So what is the answer? See, error came already. Network error, connection timed out. So whenever you see this type of error, actually the error itself is saying which type of error it is, at which level? Network level. So now you say me, by seeing this diagram, you say me, where is the error actually? Even though I have open here 22 port, you only saw, I have open in front of you, I have open 22 port for everyone actually. Not even for myself, that means everyone can go here, but still I only can't go inside.
We not supply the N82 RAT internet connection.
So you mean to say if I have to go inside the private subnet, I need to attach NAT to here, you're saying?
Yes.
That's for internet.
Is that the answer? Others? Is the NAT for
No,
going inside private subnet?
no.
What did we discuss? NAT is for providing
Internet.
internet to the
Yeah.
private subnet. But how did we discuss? How can we go inside private subnet? We discussed in our
We
earlier
need
class.
to create a jump box.
Others.
Instead of jump public subnet, we need to create a jump box.
Right. Others. It's okay. You don't answer. Who is answering? You don't answer. Others. How can I go inside a private subnet? Just give me the name of some new thing which I did not draw on the diagram.
Burstable jump.
Bastion. Bastion or jump box. In US regions you call bastion. In Australia, those countries they call it as something else. So anything is fine. Either you can call bastion box or jump box. Where I need to launch this? Where I need to create this?
Public subnet.
Public.
Yes, you need to create in the public subnet. So whenever you launch anything in public subnet, automatically on public IP and private IP. And what did we discuss? What is the security group of a bastion box? Who can go inside bastion? Only
Admin.
admin. And then what did we discuss? Who can go inside a private SSH for database? Only
Bastions.
bastions. Which IP? Public or private?
Private.
Private. Why? Because the communication is within the when the communication is between the VPC, we need to use private IP. But have we done this in today's class? Did we do this at all? What did I do? I just wanted to confuse you. Just so I simply opened SSH for everyone, so that you thought, okay, I opened 22 ports so that I can go inside. But what is the logic? Even though I have opened SSH port 00, why I am not able to go, guys? But no one answered till now actually. I open now. Currently,
It's
I
a
have opened
private
SSH.
subnet.
Yes, it's a private subnet. So that means still, can you give much more better answer? It's a private subnet. I also can know by seeing the diagram. But why I'm not able to enter inside my database even though I have opened SSH port, 22 port for everyone in the world? That is my question.
Because you made it anywhere.
Yes, anywhere means anyone should go. I am also part of anywhere, right? 00 means I am also part of 00. You're also part. Everyone in this class is a part of 00. It's okay. Let's say you don't have any PEM key, that's why you're not able to. But I am having PEM key, right? I tried to went inside, but it said network error. It did not allow me to go inside.
Database is private.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I am only saying it is private. That is there in diagram. Why I am not able to do? I already told you, like I have given you someone's address. I said you go to someone's home. If I don't say your path route, can you go? How you have to go? From which street? From which area you have to go? Can you go to that address? Same is the case here. You know this is the case, but is there any route? So what did I say? How the traffic enters VPC from? What is the point of entry of traffic in a VPC from internet?
Internet gate.
Is there any direct contact like this? Have you connected private subnet or internet gateway anywhere? So that means what? There is no route. First of all, in the diagram itself, we can see there is no route to go. That's why my traffic is unable to go to the private subnet. And how did we wanted to connect? And we already discussed in the last class. Can we connect internet gateway to private subnet if you want? Of course you can connect, but what will happen? Almost these both will become
Will become the public.
both will be public and it won't be any more secure. So that means you want a route, you want a way to go inside a private subnet at the same time it should be secure. So then what we brought into the picture? Bastion. So first we have to enter into Bastion being admin. From Bastion you will enter into database server. I already said I that I explained it from reverse manner also. Who can go into database? Only Bastion. And who can go inside Bastion? Only admin. So now the path is there or not. So the first traffic will enter internet gateway to Bastion. From Bastion you will go to database. This is the concept. So if anyone asks you, even though I open SSH port for everyone, why I am not able to go inside? What is the answer? There is no
Route between
route actually. That is the reason. So this thing we'll do practical in tomorrow's class. Okay. Tomorrow's class we will see how we can from outside our VPC how can we enter inside the database being an admin. Only admin can go inside, not others. We already discussed no company will give access to database for its customers. Only admin can go. In tomorrow's class we will discuss this Bastion and as well as this one. Actually I have drawn diagram today, but actually we did not do this also practical. Have we done this practically today? NAT and routable? Have we done? No, I just draw the diagram. We did not do. I just wanted to explain you that this is a custom routable and main routable. That's why I draw this diagram. Or else I should not draw this today. So in tomorrow's class, I will recreate the same setup. This one as this, and on top of that, I will explain this Bastion and NAT practically. So I know it's a bit complex initially, but we are going to do the same thing in the coming 2-3 classes also. So automatically you will understand by that. So now only you can feel the difference. In the earlier class we have just discussed the theory. Now we have seen the practically how it is working. So slowly after 2 classes you will get habituated it. Nothing to worry. Because I have explained this VPC in a very easy manner. I have my techniques to make understand people VPC. Why? Because when I was learning VPC, I have seen so many people. I mean, I thought of getting explained with so many people. I see so many videos in YouTube, but I don't understand. No one was able to explain me in a very easy manner, such a way without confusion I can understand. So I don't want you to go through the same phase. Now, so once you are done, actually you don't need to remove, but it's okay. Somehow we will create tomorrow. You can terminate this thing. So tomorrow I don't spend this much time while creating till here. I will quickly launch these things, and on top of that, I'll spend more time explaining that Bastion and route table and that. So if you want, you can straight away delete the things. Straight away you can go. First, you delete your instances, okay? Because if without terminating instances, if you try to delete VPC, it will throw error. If you want, you can try while practicing. See, unable to delete. Why? Because still instance is shutting down. Instance is shutting down. So give it some time. Once the both instances are completely terminated, yes. So when you delete VPC, automatically the security group. See, what are the things which gets deleted automatically with the VPC? Both security groups, both subnets, internet gateway as well as router. All the things will get deleted automatically. You don't need to delete them one by one because they are all part of your VPC. So now go to dashboard and you can check. Everything will come back to default values. Default values. Yeah, that's it. Yes. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.